All right, let me do a sound check real quick. There's my phone. Let me go on YouTube, and I'm tired. How y'all doing? Let's see. Hold on. Hello. Hold on. Okay, we are good to go. How y'all doing this evening, man? Hope you 186 back again with another video. Late night edition. Um, let me send this tweet out real quick, and then yeah, man, this is just this is a video that I'm making. Let me just title this. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. All right. Share that on Twitter. Anyways, like I said, the title. You see the title. Um, I'm not gonna. I'm probably gonna be all over the place, so I apologize in advance. But I want to make things. I want to start things off. Um, I want to be perfectly clear right now. I didn't think that the Sony show yesterday, or I guess that's 2 days ago, since it's like midnight, at least in my area. I didn't think the show was bad. I thought it was fine. The prices were pretty much in line with what most people predicted. Digital version is 300, is 400. Pretty much in the disc version is 500. Which is pretty much in line with what everyone said. I didn't think the show was bad. Here's the problem that I have with the show. Right, is everything that happened afterwards. Right, which is typical when it comes to these type of shows where a company, whether it's Sony or Microsoft, and Nintendo falls into that category as well, where they'll do a show, they'll show all these cool things, and then all the bad news comes out after the fact, right? And even with good shows, you'll have like some bad news creep out, right? So come to find out that not only is games like Spider-Man gonna be coming out on PS4, right? Which is fine. Spider-Man Miles Morales, which actually doesn't surprise me, even though excuse me, even though I thought it was gonna come out only on PS5. Now it comes out that it's also gonna come out on PS4, right? And frankly, it doesn't surprise me. Like newer games that are coming out for next gen, I do expect a lot. I did expect to see a lot of cross gen games. I really do, and especially within the first year of a new console generation, I expect to see a lot of cross gen games, right? So that comes out, right? Then it come to find out that Horizon Zero Dawn, the Forbidden West, is also coming out on PS4. Now that game, I don't expect. I think they said the game is supposed to come out 2021. I expect that game to get delayed. I do expect that game to get delayed. But apparently, that game is also coming out on PS4 as well as PS5. Now, let me make something very clear. I don't have a problem with these games coming out on PS4. I don't. In fact, this is good news for me because now the two of the most highly anticipated games for me personally. Now I don't have to spend $500 to buy them. See, so what Sony did, what they pretty much told me that the PS5 right now is not worth it. I mean, you guys can take it however you want to take it, but as far as I'm concerned, that's what they told me. By doing the news, like I said, I don't have a problem with them putting the games on PS4. I don't. But they told me, essentially told me that I don't need a PS5 right now. And again, I don't give a shit about, resolutions and 4K. Um 60 FPS is different, but I'm not spending $500 on frames per second. I'm not. If I wanted to, I would have gone all the way and gotten PC, which is still an option for me, by the way. But like I said, like, for me personally, and this is technically my overall point, but this is not the end of the video. But my overall thing has always been that in order to get people into next generation, you have to offer them a next generation experience, right? And I'm not talking about, higher frame rates and 4K and all that other stuff, right? Like, I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking about games that really can only be experienced and played on that console. Right? It goes all the way back to the whole exclusivity thing. I put a higher stake in exclusivity because those are the games that's supposed to showcase how powerful your hardware is. It's supposed to highlight showcase how great your hardware is. Right? Now it does take stuff like resolution and 4K, but that's not the end. That's not the end. The end. That's not the end goal, for at least not for me, because the game could look great, could look amazing, but if the game sucks, the game sucks, right? So for me, when you're telling me that oh well, we'll have these games on PS4 as well, while while you're telling me that, then okay, that's fine. Then I'll wait. Maybe I'll wait to get a PS5. Because frankly, there's no point in me buying a PS5, especially when a company like Sony, and y'all know, yeah, if you guys see my content, if you follow me on Twitter, if you followed me ever since the beginning, I started this thing. I have been a diehard PlayStation fan slash fanboy in my earlier years for ever since they were created, ever since the PlayStation brand became a thing, all the way from the PS1, right? But when I tell you that when you have a company like Sony, right, who on one on a month ago was going around saying they believe in generations, right? When they create games that are only possible on the PS5, and then turn around and completely, you know, do a 180 like that with no explanation, I mean, there's nothing to defend. There's nothing to defend. Like I said, I've been a PlayStation fan forever, but that doesn't mean that I have to completely defend them when they pull some bullshit like this. And that's what this is. This is pure bullshit. This is them tapping off of Microsoft. We all know why they did it, because Microsoft. This came off of Microsoft very sketchy showcase, and Halo Infinite being delayed, and the whole talk about is cross generation games holding back gaming in general. And Sony was like, "Oh, we believe in generations, this and that," pretty much going counterculture to what Microsoft was doing. Come to find out, they're doing the same thing. They're essentially doing the same thing. Like I said, I don't have a problem with them supporting the PS4. Throughout their history, they've shown support for their last generation consoles a couple years, after the new one comes out. Right? They've always done it. But what they're doing now is stunning to me. It's stunning to me, because what they're essentially doing is they're essentially telling me that they're not interested in selling me a PS5, because in order to selling a second generation a next generation console is about software. It's always going to be about software, especially when the hardware is so similar now between these companies. I don't give a shit if one console is stronger than the other. I don't give a shit. Like at the end of the day, they're identical. One may be stronger than the other, but they're identical. There's nothing that sets them apart. There really is nothing that sets them apart except for the controller and maybe the look of it. But everything else is the same. Like you're gonna get the same. You're gonna get 90% the same games and all the other stuff. But when what you're but so like I don't the one thing that always sold next generation was next generation games only available on that console. And when you're not doing that, what's the point of me buying the console? There's no point. And the funny thing is that if Sony had explained earlier somewhere that okay, well, we decided to do this because whatever, then that's fine. Then whatever. Then there really is nothing I can say. I still wouldn't buy a PS5, but at least I would understand. But no, no. I mean, they just pretty much lied and did not even explain. At the very least, I'll give Microsoft this. Whenever they come off looking stupid, at least the executives will at least admit to it. They'll at least they'll acknowledge it most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, man. Like I really can't even be upset because at the end of the day, I saved myself $500. I really did, and like I said, I'm not upset, but I'm not gonna spend $500 on a device that can play the same game that I'm playing right now. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. So so you have that, and then the whole pre-order thing. Now I follow a bunch of people on Twitter, and obviously one of those people is Jeff Keighley. He said that pre-orders were gonna start tomorrow. We're gonna start tomorrow, as in tomorrow 9. I think he said something about 9 a.m. or something like that. I don't remember the rest, but I definitely remember him saying that the pre-orders were gonna start tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, I see tweets saying, "Oh, pre-orders are live. Pre-orders are live. Pre-orders are live. You gotta go to GameStop. You gotta go to Walmart. You gotta go to Sam's Club. All the other stuff, right?" And I'm like, "Huh? What's going on here?" Because the thing is, like, while I'm not interested in buying a PS5. Like I said, I'm not buying one. I'm not buying one at launch. My initial plan, my original plan, was to buy one in the spring of 2021. Now I'm not even doing that. I'll probably wait a couple years before I go to next generation. But you know that's in the future. But the reason why I wanted to, the reason why I wanted that information, the pre-order information, because I have a couple friends who want to buy, who have been asking me from a long time, long time about oh, what's the price of these consoles, the pre-orders, when are we gonna find out? Now all of a sudden we find out the price, and then the pre-orders go live like minutes later apparently. And now I don't know what's going on. I'm sending my friend links and all the other stuff about the console, but yet it's always like, oh well, they sold out, and I will say this, right? Sony's handling of the pre-order has been dog shit. That's fucking clear. But the one thing that I can say is that there's a lot of people who want this console. I see pictures of people waiting in line to pre-order. My friends are in my both my best friends are like scrambling to find one. So people want this console. People want it. And but to me, like I'm like, the handling of this has been poor. Of the pre-orders have been poor. And then Microsoft turns around and says that, oh, you can pre-order their consoles on I think it was the 22nd. So pretty much taking a backhanded slap at Sony, which I don't blame them for doing so. It makes sense. But like I don't know, it's just like this a concave of bad news, and I know there's some people who are upset about apparently some of the games are gonna be $70. That one doesn't bother me as much because like I said, I kind of anticipated games being more expensive, so that doesn't bother me. Apparently, there's people who are upset that I think the Spider-Man remaster that's coming out is not going to be a free upgrade. Me personally, I don't give a shit about stuff like that. I really don't. Like if you had an opportunity to play the game, if you want to play it, if you want to play it upgraded, I guess if you had the disc, maybe you should be able to get the upgrades automatically. Which I mean that's something that Microsoft does. Sony don't do that, so it is what it is. But overall, like, you look at all this stuff that's going on, and it's like you got all these people, criticizing Sony, bashing Sony, this and that. And I'm 100% in agreement with you guys. But a lot of you guys are still buying the console. Like I always say, you vote with your wallet, and if you're going to criticize them for all this stuff about them, if you're especially when you're gonna go as far as say they're lying to to their customers, they're not respecting their customers, and all the other stuff, which I all agree with. All that stuff I agree with. And then a couple minutes later, they got pictures of saying, "Oh, look, I got a PS5. You know, I pre-ordered PS5 pre-ordered." It's not going to change anything. And I truly believe that, especially with someone like Jim Ryan at the helm. And listen, I don't have an issue with Jim Ryan. I really don't. Like he got caught lying. Like that's fucking clear, and he deserves criticism for that. But I don't give. I really don't care about Jim Ryan. But with someone like him at the helm, you think this is going to get worse. Like this is going to get worse, in my opinion. As far as lack of communication with their fans, with the decisions that they're making in order to keep the console gaming what it was. I always thought that, I mean, really the only company that's keeping console gaming the way it normally is Nintendo. And the console they made, the Switch, is garbage. Like it's the absolute dog shit, right? And I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that in another video. But in Nintendo, like Sony, they also doubled down on bringing more games to PC. That's definitely gonna happen. So like like this stuff is gonna get worse, man. Like I'm telling you, and a lot of diehard PlayStation guys are probably gonna either have to accept it or leave. And for someone like me, like I said, I'm not buying a PS5 right now, so it's fine. Like I'm good. I have my console. If my PS4 tomorrow, knock on wood, hopefully this don't happen. If my PS4 dies tomorrow, no, not tomorrow. Like let's say 6 7 months from now, right? If my PS4 dies and there's an opportunity to get a PS5, maybe I'll go get it. But as long as my PS4 works, I don't need a PS5. That's fine. Like I don't need a PS5. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen a game that really. I mean, Gran Turismo, has hyped me for the next generation. But I'm hyped for Gran Turismo because I'm a Gran Turismo fan, not because, the graphics were some super duper looking type shit. No, I'm excited for Gran Turismo because of Gran Turismo. So I mean, that hasn't been confirmed for PS4. Um, but what else? I mean, there really is no other game that I see that would convince me to buy a PS5. So I mean, it is what it is. So Sony has, in my opinion, Sony has failed big time as far as convincing me uh, uh um to get a PS5. Now, as far as Microsoft is concerned, my friend asked me if I was gonna buy the $300 Xbox, right? So, I didn't cover this on my channel, but obviously everyone knows. Microsoft, they're gonna have the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. The X is gonna be 500. The S is gonna be 300. Now, $300 for a new generation console is awesome. It's awesome, right? And there's no denying that. It's awesome, right? And if it had better games, I would buy it because I have pretty much the precursor to the Series S, the Xbox One S. I have that console already. I have that console, and I just noticed this. When you look at it, it looks very similar to the Series X, to the Series S. The only thing is the difference is the black thingy on the side of it. Along with the white console colors and all that other stuff, right? If the games were better, I would definitely jump on an Xbox on an Xbox Series X. But the problem is that the last couple years of their first party content has been garbage, and with no Halo Infinite, because that was really the only game that interested me from Xbox that's coming out right away. Like nothing interests me. And then there was a comment made by this person. I don't know who said this, but they work at Microsoft, and they said that while while it sucks that Halo Infinite is delayed, at least the Xbox gamer will have access to thousands of games at launch. So you hear that here, people. They're essentially telling you that it's a great thing that that all the games that you can already play, you can play them on your new $500, $300 toy. Well, I don't know about the S. I don't know. There's some talk about that. I don't know, but with the X, you get to play all your games, all the games you already can play on the X. And I personally do not see the appeal in doing so. I don't. Why am I being talked why is it that the main attraction to my next generation console is playing games that I can already play right now on my old generation console? Why is this a thing? Why? That's why I don't understand. And I'm not saying that this hasn't been a thing in past console generation. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that back in my day, what what gravitated you to next generation was there was new games. Was new game that you can't do in any other platform. But yet here I have one company pretty much lying about what their console was gonna do when it comes to this game and that game coming out on their on only that can only be made on their platform, but yet it's also coming out on PS4. And I have another company who essentially are bragging about having backwards compatibility and Game Pass. This is what they thought was the the attraction to next generation. Like, I'm sorry, like that's bullshit to me. It's complete bullshit to me. Like, I want new games. I want new experiences. I want sequels to games that I played that look a lot better. Not just better, a lot better. I want to jump from Uncharted 3 to Uncharted 4. That's the jump that I want. I want to jump from, I'll probably say, original Killzone to Killzone 2. That's the jump that I want. I want new games. I want new experiences. But yet I'm being told by both of these companies that a the game that the this generation is all about playing games from past generations. I'm sorry, to me that's bullshit. It's bullshit. I know a lot of people are all in on this, inclusive gaming shit and all the other stuff. But every game should be on everything. Nah, no, no, no. And maybe I'm just being old. Maybe I'm just acting like an old man. But the way that I grew up, that game. Not only did you have different variety of games for per console, not this 90% everything is everything bullshit. But like I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not upset. I'm just underwhelmed by this next generation. Because I can even extend this to third party. Like I haven't seen nothing. I haven't seen no game from third party, from EA, from 2K, from EA, from yeah, 2K, I guess, 2K games. Like I haven't seen nothing from these third parties that that make their games look spectacular. I haven't seen it. We haven't even seen footage of we look. We haven't seen footage. We've seen like little snippets of the next Madden game. We've seen little snippets of we really haven't seen nothing of 2K, of the 2K basketball game. You got, you know, Assassin's Creed looks boring, looks mid as shit, right? Godfall, that I mean, I'm sorry, that game looks mid to me. That game looks mid. Like I don't I'm not seeing the excitement of next generation. I'm not seeing it. Like I am not seeing it. And maybe it is probably just a me problem. I know there's a lot of people who shat on Sony today, and yet they're still buying PS5. That's fine. I know there's a lot of people that are gonna be buying Xboxes, and but to me, I don't see I don't see the need, man. Like I don't see the need. Like for me, platform will always be about console gaming. To me, will always be about exclusive games. Will always be about that. And if these console manufacturers, you know, are not about that, and if it benefits their pocket, then yeah, I get it. But see, that's not for me, man. Like I said, like when Sony decided to put all their games, their first party games on PC day one, that's when I'll go to PC. That's when I'll go. That's when I'll go to PC. Then I won't have to worry about, them them dictating when next generation is. I'll do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean overall, like I'm just not. I don't give a shit about this generation, man. Like I really don't. Like I'm not really seeing the innovation. Like all this talk about SSDs and ray tracing and shit like that. I haven't seen none of that shit. Like Halo Infinite was gonna launch without ray tracing. And yet all these fucking Xbox dudes keep bragging about ray tracing this and ray tracing that, and yet that shit wasn't gonna launch with it. Like I don't see the appeal of next generation. I really don't. I tried, and I'm happy for all my friends who are buying, who got their PS5 pre-orders. I'm happy for my Xbox dudes who are gonna get their pre-orders, who are gonna get their pre-orders next week. I'm happy for y'all. But for me, this console generation, as of right now, just is just such a is such the rollout and everything like that has been so shitty. And maybe a lot of it has to do with COVID. I'm sure a lot of it had to do with COVID. But we had to wait forever for prices. Microsoft prices got leaked. That's the only reason why they revealed it. So we had to wait. We had to wait all this time for Sony to reveal the price, and then when it comes to pre-order, they did decide to just drop it out of nowhere. Like the rollout to this thing has been dog shit, man. Like ever since Microsoft got off to a good start, but then when they showed off the games, is when everything failed. First with their third party showcase, and then their first party showcase, which wasn't much better. Sony, I think their showcases have been good, especially the first one. But now you have this talk about the games being expensive. Like I said, it's not a big deal for me. But when you have your competitor offering, their all their new games coming out at $10 essentially with Game Pass, and if Microsoft's not going to do the same thing, then you're going to look stupid. You're definitely going to look stupid, doing so. But yeah, man, this whole let me see, double shooter, how you doing, man? Besides Nintendo, they're not doing exclusives. Are you talking about Sony, or what? Can you elaborate on that real quick? Thank you for watching, by the way. Um, yeah, man. Like overall, like I'm not excited for next generation. Like, and I'm definitely I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. Like I'm not buying one. I'm not buying a PS4. a PS5. I'm not buying an Xbox. I'm not doing that. So I'm not. I just think the rollout's been dumb. The games haven't done anything to me. They haven't done anything for me, and I'm just over it, man. Like I'm just gonna rock out with my PS4. Um, and then that's it. Let me see. All of them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Nintendo has to do exclusive out of necessity because that's just how they are. But even then, their lineup has kind of dried up a little bit. Um, with Sony, like I mean, as long as I mean, like I said, if when their game decide to go on PC day one, then I'll leave. That's fine. Then I'll go to PC. Um, and then Microsoft, like their exclusive lineup has been dog shit. Like it really has. That's why I'm literally on the verge of getting rid of my Xbox because I mean I don't play on it no more. It's just is collecting dust and wasting space. And I can't have that. I can't have devices in my house wasting space. It's very annoying to me. Um, I mean that's pretty much it, man. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to you, Double Shooter, man. Have a good day. I'm out. Peace.